Time to abandon ship.
Oh no!
Here we go!
Can I persuade you to join us for a drink? It's a tradition.
Here, here.
Jar Jar, homie, my main man, quickly. Before the Separatists attack, get into the escape pod.
Hey! This is escape, then we're the pod.
Welcome back, everybody, to Star Wars Escape Pod. We got the final commentary track on our chronological list of commentaries, and we have Blake and Ray joining us in the Escape Pod today for that. So, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, didn't come out that long ago. Also a controversial film. Not like The Last Jedi was, but still disliked by many. And, you can look at the evidence on Rotten Tomatoes if you so wish, or many complaints on Twitter. But you know what? We're not gonna intentionally be very toxic about this movie, but we will be critical. So just a disclaimer there, and we'll see you in a second.
Another happy landing.
Lock S files and attack positions.
Have you ever wanted to re-experience classic radio once again? Well, the Old Time Radio Comedy Time Machine and the Yesteryear Old Time Radio podcasts are there for you across the internet to do just that. With the classic Jack Benny series and the CBS Radio Mysteries, we're here to bring classic radio to life. So, search us up and enjoy the rest of the show.
What you brought me today is worth... 1/4 portion. I got a bad feeling about this.
All right, thanks again to our partnership with the Old Time Radio podcast through Audrey. Actually, we made an account on there. It's a fantastic place for podcasters to just sign up and find other shows that might have similar topics in mind, or even if not, then you can still exchange some promotionals and just kind of word of mouth agreements that we're gonna play them for X amount of episodes. And this is actually the last episode that we're going to hear that particular promotional. So be sure to check out those shows. And thanks again to them for doing a partnership with us as we finish off our commentary series. So let's get right into the show now that's taken care of. So welcome back, Reed and Blake, to Star Wars Escape Pod. Always great to have you guys back.
Hey man, good to be here. Have you back. It's the last one, so it's gonna be cool to wrap up this series.
Yeah, man, super pumped.
Yeah, absolutely. This movie, we're gonna get into it really quickly, but this movie it was done by J.J. Abrams, who came back after the Duel of Fates was canceled, which is the official title of Episode 9 that would have been delivered by Colin Trevorrow. And concept artwork is in the art of the Rise of Skywalker book, as well as leaked out online. I think it was a month or two after the Rise of Skywalker had been released in theaters. And Colin Trevorrow himself actually confirmed some of this stuff, and including an outline of a script that was supposedly leaked online. So a lot of conversation to happen after if we end up having time, but it is worth noting that this movie that we ended up seeing is a very similar situation to The Force Awakens, where we could have had an alternative Episode 7 with George's outline, and instead got the one that J.J. Abrams did. And once again, J.J. Abrams coming back in and delivering the alternative movie that we get, as opposed to what we could have had. So we'll have an interesting talk about that, but it might come up a few times as we watch the film. In case any of you guys have read that outline out there, it's not going to go unacknowledged. But I don't know. What did you guys think about this movie when you walked out of the theater?
I would say it was I actually liked it a little better than I was expecting it to be, because at the end of The Last Jedi, I felt like there was nothing left for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know how they were going to make a movie. Like, the big bad is, like, gone. Like, the Resistance has practically nobody left. Rey seems like she's basically competent enough to be at least a Jedi Knight. So I was just lost at where they were going to go with it. And as we learned, they pulled some villains out of a hat and brought them in for this movie. And all things considered, I actually thought, for what they had, it actually wasn't too bad. That being said, if they had a proper story that went through all 3 films, I think it would have been significantly better.
Yeah, man. When I leading up to this movie, I was so disappointed with the last one. My bar was pretty low, so it wasn't hard.
Yeah, that's more or less what I'm saying too.
Honestly, at this point, I just didn't care. Like when they said like Darth Sidious was coming back or whatever, I was pretty much just like shrugged my shoulders. I was like, all right, like they could do a lot worse to me at this point.
It's true.
Like it was an okay-ish movie. Like you were saying, it was kind of disappointing that there wasn't a whole lot of like consistency with the rest of the other 3 movies. Basically, they were just kind of like, just forget about those other movies we made.
it did feel like a Band-Aid ending. I will say that, but it had some cool stuff going for it, but it didn't feel like it doesn't really feel like it's a trilogy. It just feels like there's 3 movies.
Yeah. Like, because in the last movie, they added in like Rose and like kind of as a significant character and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they just like
put it in the background
side pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this really comes from the issue of the baton passing handoff system that they went with for these movies, because that's exactly what happened in the last movie, right? In The Last Jedi, because Rian Johnson didn't want to play with JJ's characters, so he put them to the side, really. I mean, look what happened to like Finn. He was this cool, like, badass stormtrooper, and then became like this weird side character that didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rian Johnson finishes, and he goes back to JJ, and he takes all of Rian Johnson's toys and puts them off to the side, and he plays with his toys again.
Yeah, it's a weird back and forth with those films, and it's apparent when you watch it through the story as well. It's just like, okay, plot's going this direction, now it's going that direction, and back again, and like you said, I think like the best way to put this movie is it's a huge Band-Aid to not only kind of make the sequels relevant at all, but it's also to try and at least make sense of them in the context of an already existing 6-movie saga. So like it's a really tough thing to do when they're making this movie, and I mean, I don't honestly like I think The Last Jedi, when it came out, it upset a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the main thing is like it's just at that point it's just too late, right? It's out, and now having seen The Rise of Skywalker, we've now seen a movie that does its best to try and repair things in a way that ignores things as well, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
true.
on the other hand, we had the potential for a true sequel to The Rise of Skywalker, or to The Last Jedi, sorry. Which would have been done by Colin Trevorrow, and did you guys take a look at that stuff at all in the details?
I looked at a bunch of the leaked artwork, but I haven't actually read the script stuff yet.
Yeah. So I don't want to get into too much detail, but basically it really took the idea of where The Last Jedi left off and it ran with it. Like it was, so Colin Trevorrow and Rian Johnson, I think, worked in collaboration a lot more than the last minute JJ comes in, boom, I'm making the sequel, and that's it, right? So I think like there was a lot more elements that The Last Jedi had set up that Duel of Fates would have actually taken over, because I'll just use this as one example. Luke Skywalker, when he disappears into the Force and and he's like, that's it. And on Crate, he's like, see you around, kid. And he just goes away. And he doesn't see him around. Like, you know, like Ben Solo doesn't see him at all. In fact, in the next movie, he only interacts with Rey, and that's it. And that's JJ's movie. But in the Duel of Fates version... Yeah, and in the Duel of Fates version, there was going to be a whole sequence in which case Luke Skywalker would have been coming after Ben Solo and basically like haunting him in the Force.
That's cool. I like that.
And it's awesome. And it was like really dark and everything. What's
funny is there's a comic where Luke, as a Force Ghost, does exactly that to Cade Skywalker.
And that's why I liked it, because it took that element. It took that element of like this fallen kind of greatness, and then it just brought that to life basically on screen, even though it's different character. It's just the same idea was there, right? And it would have pushed Ben Solo further into darkness kind of thing. Like he would have really truly embraced, because Snoke is gone now, like it really embraced the fact that he killed his master for a purpose, and it wasn't necessarily to just take control of the First Order and become the supreme leader. It was to take control of that to gain power, because that's what he craves. He craves more power, right? Like the Sith would, but he isn't a Sith. So it was a very interesting idea that he just kept wanting more, and it just kept on digging himself a deeper hole, and to the point where he gets a different mask, and it ends up getting like welded onto his face, because like,
oh right, I remember you mentioning this before. Yeah,
some like holocron blows up in his face and stuff like that. Like there was
it's very Sith-like.
Very Sith-like. It's almost very poetic too in the nature of the prequels, because you know, you have like this guy who wants to be so much, and eventually he just gets what he's asking for. Like he's wearing this helmet, the helmet that Darth Vader got because he was burned to death in episode 3, or almost burned to death, right? And Ben Solo is just a copycat. He just wants to be cool like his granddaddy, right? And Vader, he idolizes him so much that he's willing to go to the depths that he does, and eventually he gets to that rocky bottom, and it hits home, and he does become that thing that he's been looking for, you know. And you know, it's like the saying, like people who look for trouble will find it. So I liked the fact that they took his character, they ran with that. And there's a lot of things that just kind of embraced The Last Jedi and made The Last Jedi a better movie because of the way that movie set up Duel of Fates. And now this movie, Rise of Skywalker, makes that movie, not only is it not liked by a lot of people, but it makes it even less relevant in the context of this entire series.
Justifies people not liking it.
Exactly. It totally justifies people not liking that movie at all. And I think it was a really bad call to just not embrace the fact that movie had come out. So we're going to watch this movie now, and we'll get onto all the stuff as we go along. But if you guys are ready, I'll start the countdown, right?
Well, let's do it, brother.
Sounds good.
Cool. 3, 2, 1,
punch it.
Disney Plus buffering. Lucasfilm logo on screen.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to like slingshot me into the movie, because it always kind of lags and like.
Oh yeah.
Really quickly
halfway through one of the opening like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I got Star Wars on screen.
Oh, there we go already.
I have a Disney Plus.
Oh, I'm in it.
Blake is still buffering.
There it goes.
Definitely felt that lag spike when you joined.
Oh yeah.
Funny.
So this movie picks up a year after the Last Jedi, and it's worth noting that this entire opening paragraph to the whole Palpatine is back thing was a sequence of audio that could have been heard if you played Fortnite, and was only exclusively available on Fortnite.
That's really strange.
Isn't that weird? They did that with Star Wars Battlefront 2 as well, where they were like, oh yeah, like you would know about the Dreadnought ship in the opening sequence of Last Jedi if you played Star Wars Battlefront 2 and saw this like one small section of the game where like they happen to mention
it's really weirdly exclusive.
And here's the thing about that though, like with Battlefront 2, at least it's a game you can still buy. With Fortnite, it was like a limited edition like thing that would just randomly pop up, I think, and then now of course they're not doing it anymore. Yeah, it's
well, at least and Battlefront 2, at least that's a Star Wars game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what the
Yeah,
heck?
and the campaign is actually relevant to the series. so.
Yeah. I'm actually curious. Sorry, not to change topic. I'm really curious what you guys think of the actual title, Rise of Skywalker, because I don't like it.
It has
I don't.
nothing to do with the movie at all.
I see. I didn't have any opinion on it, assuming that the Rise of Skywalker meant that Anakin was going to come back, and like, but I of course I shouldn't have assumed that at all, right? But I mean, naturally that's what I thought, because it's like, okay, the guy's the chosen one. They just brought back the Emperor. There's got to be a really like freaking good reason why they did that, because if there isn't a good reason, they just changed Return of the Jedi forever.
It's true. They did, yeah.
For the worse, if they didn't bring him back, right? And sure enough, they botched it.
Yeah. By the way, I love this opening sequence. 'Cause
Yeah,
this is
it's
how I
super
feel
cool.
about the franchise at this point. Like Kylo Ren's
It is really
embodying.
cool. It is a good sequence. They actually cut a lot down from this sequence. There used to be a giant frog monster.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, really?
I would have wanted to watch a frog monster.
I was looking at the leaked Duel of Fates images, and there was like a frog monster thing there. Was that it?
No, that must have been. Actually, maybe. It was actually a puppet that they, a whole animatronic that they made, and they actually have a deleted scene from this film that ended up using it, and they cut that whole section out because they just wanted to speed it up.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know why, because this is like the Avengers Endgame to Star Wars. It's like, make a 3-hour movie. Just embrace the fact it's the last one.
Well, people
And they ended
certainly
up
didn't like
making
The
it-
Last Jedi was so long.
No, but I mean, nobody liked the movie anyway. So like, I mean, I can see why they didn't like the length of it either. But I mean, like, it's like if they're trying to make an epic finale to make everything, it's like the last excuse that they could ever bring to the table is, oh, we just didn't make the movie long enough and ran out of time to do certain things.
Well, I think JJ does that a lot, because almost all of his movies I've watched, they always feel really rushed.
Yeah, it is. And it's worth noting that planet at the beginning was Mustafar, which they didn't mention at all.
Yeah,
film.
like I wish they had told me that.
Just totally skipped over that fact.
Because when did it get like trees?
It's like a different part of the planet, and it also has something to do with the Vader Immortal games.
Okay, yeah, because they mentioned that a little bit, but
yeah. So, Reed, you played the. That part's pretty crazy right there.
Yeah.
But, you played the Vader Immortal trilogy there. Reed. So you'll know that at the end of that trilogy, after doing all what you do, life is restored to the planet.
Oh,
so,
right, yeah.
Yeah, so that is like kind of the spurring first set of trees that are kind of coming out of the ground, I guess.
Okay, that's kind of cool then.
That build up.
Yeah.
Just the cataracts.
So gross.
He's got that elephant disease.
The what disease?
The fungus disease.
Leprosy?
No, it's like Elephant Man.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. That destruction looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, visually this movie, I mean, like, even like Last Jedi, like I loved like the visuals, like they did such a great job with it and stuff. But
It's just too bad the story wasn't there to go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The one thing that doesn't bother me about Palpatine being back is that they did it in the books when he was like he was a clone in the books.
Yeah, I know, and it's the one thing that I've still been kind of like iffy on, is because that storyline was not my favorite, It was you're referring to like the Dark Empire 1 and 2, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one where Luke almost turns Sith, which is
It was
silly,
really
but-
weird. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that storyline.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, it wasn't so much that it bothered me that Palpatine was in this movie, it's just how they did it. I was like, because they just kind of throw us in out of nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Palps is back. Here he is, opening scene of the movie, pretty much. Like, here we go.
I agree. That's my issue with it too. If it kind of alluded up to it through the other two movies, that'd be one thing. But just it did feel like they just like pull it out of a hat in the last minute because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah. And it kind of annoyed me in this. Sorry, slightly different tangent. It kind of annoyed me in this movie how they've like tried to salvage the new cast basically in this movie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't mind them in this movie. Like they were actually like doing stuff together finally, whereas before
know,
like,
right?
they would spend like most of the movie not even interacting with each other, even though
Well, two of the main characters did meet to the end of a second movie.
Yeah. And like in the last movie, especially with Poe and Finn, like they just flushed him down the toilet so hard. Like
I know that annoyed the crap out of me too.
Yeah. Like I didn't even care at this point anymore. Yam face. Oh my gosh.
There's Yam face from Battlefront
Yam,
2.
oh.
I call him Yam face because
Yam
of
face.
his stupid face.
Dude, Josh gets killed by him so much.
Yeah, I think so. By the sound of it, it's a little
Sorry,
bitter.
that was a little bit. Just like yams.
Yeah, he's got like 2 yams like on his face. Just
Yeah.
Don't be so xenophobic, Josh.
Yeah, Josh, come on, man.
Nah, I'm just yamophobic.
Just yammering away over there.
Yep.
I like the setup of this like iceberg space station. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
some of
this
the
looks
environments
so
are
good. Like this is
Yeah.
so cool.
I like the ice tunnels. All
Yeah.
the different like rafters in it.
Yeah.
This whole movie's color palette is very like blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is very blue. I can already notice that the characters are far more confident than they were in the last movie.
Yeah.
Well, last movie they were babysat for the entire time by other people. Like,
True.
yeah.
Especially Finn. He just feels a lot more confident.
Yeah.
What do you
But
think of this quick jump to hyperspace? No, don't
yeah.
have to wait
Like-
for the.
like light speed skipping. Like,
Yeah, they don't have to wait for the. What's it called now?
the calculations.
Yeah, and the fact that they're jumping like in atmosphere.
Yeah,
and the
it's- I
times are
didn't really
following
like
them
it
the
that
whole
much.
time.
Because I feel like that's always been a big thing in Star Wars. Where if you do that, you're just gonna die because you're gonna drive into a planet.
I also think it's very unlikely that every time they jump, they're going to end up in somewhere that's like that populated
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
that
like
too.
stuff, you know?
Yeah. It was just kind of it was remind me of when the ship or whatever goes to light speed to destroy like the super like dreadnought star destroyer or whatever. It was just kind of like, really? Like they've been able to do this the whole time? Like, okay, whatever.
Hmm. Also, it's funny that scene was like Luke trying to lift the rock, but she's just like showing him up real hard.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
So one thing that's worth mentioning about these scenes is that Leia, all this footage is stuff that was shot from Last Jedi and Force Awakens, because at this point Carrie Fisher was gone, didn't film a single thing for this movie at all.
Yeah.
It's true.
And they literally made sequences like around her footage.
That's interesting. See,
They
and
wrote
like I didn't
comparisons.
mind the training sequences she did in this movie. Like this was like what I had hoped.
Was in the
Kind
last
of-
one.
Yeah, what I had wanted from the last movie was like
Yeah.
actual like interesting stuff like this. Like this is watching this stuff is really cool. But
Yep, I agree. And honestly, for the power she has, she needs to show this, or else she just becomes a Mary Sue.
yeah.
Also, isn't it funny how we went the entire middle movie without seeing that mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's just like he kind of got over Vader, and then he's back into the fandom again.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the one reason why I liked the second movie, was because it kind of made Ben Solo his own character. Like it took him out of that Vader fanboy club and kind of like he kind of embraced his own ability and killed Snoke and just kind of became his own man, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And now he's back to Vader fan club again.
Yeah.
Was that a piece of dialogue from Empire Strikes Back?
Which, like,
When Luke says he told me you killed him. I think they took the last piece of that "you killed him" and played it in that flashback there.
Yeah.
That's cool. I missed it.
Yeah. See, I kind of like, I like when they have those like flashback sequences like that, because like, and I think they could have done that like with all three of the movies.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be a common thing in the Force. Like they're supposed to see like the past and the future and stuff like that all the time, right? And B, like I think yeah, like I think they could have made that like a much more interesting way to like pass the torch on to the new cast, and like instead of having to make like the old cast like so front and center.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
I know. I'm still confused why they still haven't used a scene of like Vader getting the helmet on or anything like that, like from Sith.
Yeah, like there's so many
those like amazing shots of like the helmet kind of going on his head and stuff. Like why not use any of that footage? Like there's such great footage.
Well, we all know JJ's afraid of the prequels, so there is that.
Yeah, he's got major prequel phobia.
Oh gosh,
it's a crying shame because it doesn't work for a director to like be that selfish when you're making a finale to wrap up 9 films.
Instead, just ignore 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just completely bull.
Yep.
I find it funny that Finn's still wearing the same jacket. He just took the sleeves off.
Yeah, it looks very similar, doesn't it?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm 90% sure it's the exact same piece of clothing.
I don't know. It looks kind of lighter.
It
I thought it was darker.
Yeah, it does look lighter. Yeah, it's like he's inverted the colors. Like now he's wearing a lighter outside, like a darker inside. Oh, whoa! There's Mon Cala back there.
At last, some proper old aliens.
Yeah.
Man, Daisy Ridley looks so different in the last movie.
Does she?
Yeah, she does. She looks like way skinnier, like sickly skinny.
Is it because of her new costume? I guess. Like,
no, like her bones are sharper
compared to the first movie.
Oh, and that's from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He's him, one of the hobbits. Yeah. This is like, I was like, why is he in this movie?
It's Mary. Plays Mary.
Mary. Where's Papa?
I don't know, Mary.
What about second breakfast and luncheon and tea?
What about second breakfast?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of missing something because like so many of the books that built up from episode 6, like the Aftermath trilogy and all this stuff, they're pointing evidence toward the fact that Palpatine wanted to explore the unknown regions because of some sort of like threat that was out there, or like
he said something out there.
Yeah, and like at first my thought was like, oh, they're saying now that it's this like exegol planet, right?
Yeah.
But what tore me away from that theory was that he would have had these clones and everything set up before he died. Otherwise, he would just be gone, right? So
That's
like
true.
his soul like was
And he's-
transferred
yeah.
in when his
So-
body died, right? So it means that he found exegol in the unknown regions before all that stuff that they put in after Return of the Jedi. And I was like, what the heck, man? Like, it's just like, not only did they negate a bunch of stuff from the films, but they negated so many little facts from like all the the canon comics and the novels and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
they kind of like flipped everything around a bit. Because
Oh.
honestly, I think it would have all tied together. But because they just swapped out the director and JJ just threw it together, he wasn't obviously going to abide by everything they've been putting together over the last
Yeah.
10 years. Because as Kathleen Kennedy said, they give the directors full and complete control to just do whatever they want.
You know how they could have fixed this entire trilogy with a very simple thing. All right,
Not made
they
it.
could have kept Exegol the way it is. They could have made instead of bringing back Palpatine. As much as I love Ian McDiarmid, instead of bringing back the character though of the Emperor, have it be Snoke that's been brought back, because Snoke is the guy that has a bunch of like clones or whatever, and he's doing that stuff, and then have Snoke in this final film reveal himself to be Darth Plagueis, and the whole reason
Yeah.
why he came
I
back
knew
is
that's where you're
because
going
he's
with that.
got this power to like restore life and all that crap, right?
Yeah.
So like
That
that
at
would be
least would
such
make
a
sense.
simple fix with one small change, and that would have been it.
Yeah,
But-
I would have been a lot happier about that stuff too, because like
Yeah.
I had really, that's what I had anticipated, like the first, like
it
the
made the
whole
most
Force
sense.
Awakens movie. Yeah, I was like, yes, like finally we're gonna see Plagueis, like the culmination of like what so much of this movie or the franchise like alludes to and stuff like that, and then it just doesn't happen.
And honestly, it's the one thing that would have wrapped both of the previous trilogies together.
Yeah.
And it would make sense because Palpatine's got this connection to Plagueis being his master. So it would have paid
Yeah.
tribute to all the books and comics as well, where he's like, I feel something in the unknown regions. Something's not right out there. There's like a big dark presence that I need to like figure out what it is. You know, it would make so much sense if it was like his old master or whatever, just like residing and hiding and you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I
it could have
totally
fixed
agree.
everything. One simple thing. They could have fixed it all.
Yeah. It's really too bad.
You know, if Dave Filoni was doing this, I bet you that's what we would have got.
I bet you Dave Filoni doesn't even like these movies.
Oh, I bet no. I don't think he would either.
Well, he salvaged the prequels in a dark time, so maybe he can do it again.
That is true. Yeah.
He salvaged the prequels? What?
Well,
they-
there's a lot of hate for the prequels, right? When they came
Yeah.
out, and then he made the Clone Wars, and he fixed a lot of the problems and brought a lot of fans back around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, that monkey welder guy, badass.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
I was about to acknowledge him. I was going to say this is where it crosses over with Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it looks straight up like a monkey from Planet of the Apes.
Yes! Damn face! Dead!
Josh,
That's
you'll
what I
finally
like to
live
see.
through Battlefront 2 now.
That's what I like to see.
Oh my gosh. By the way, I thought introducing the Knights of Ren in this movie was like stupid. I didn't like it. Like they did
Little late.
Yeah, a little
waited
late.
so long. Yeah.
and there's just like no context whatsoever. It's just like
I know.
Knights of Ren, we showed up, we're here. Let's get this movie done.
And
So
even then, they're
there's
kind of
a-
like pseudo side characters.
Yeah.
There's a comic book called The Rise of Kylo Ren, and if you like the character of Kylo Ren and Ben Solo, you'll probably enjoy the comic book. It also kind of explains a little more as to like why he joined Snoke and all that stuff, and his time as a Jedi Padawan, rather like with Luke, and you know up until the point where he leaves. So it kind of gets into the Knights of Ren and what the title is, who they are, what they stand for, kind of thing.
So is it just me, or is everyone here just like the League of Super Evil?
Pretty much.
It's like a board of evil.
Honestly.
Like like Mr. Burns and Count Chocula in the room.
We represent the Union.
I kind of didn't really like this sequence either. It wasn't the party so much. It was just that like.
Well, where else would Lando be hanging out?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. This planet, like most of the sequence on this planet, I was okay with. I just thought it was so stupid that like, oh yeah, by the way, there's this ship that's been sitting here untouched for like, years.
What planet is this?
I don't even know. Okay, was it? No, I'm thinking of the wrong name. No idea. I think they mentioned it earlier. Maybe.
I'm starting to think the Star Wars galaxy is like 90% desert planets.
Yeah, I know, right?
I do like these aliens though, because they always look like they're smirking and the goofiest smiles.
They're like, joke's on you.
They kind of at least look a little more Star Wars.
Kind of look like Ryan Johnson.
Oh, that one's kind of the little ones are kind of creepy though.
Yeah. little Oh, hey, look, C-3PO said something that wasn't like at the beginning or the end of the movie.
Actually, that's one thing that at least they did in this movie was they kind of brought him front and center, which in the other two movies he was just like
thrown to the side. Yeah, I agree.
Side, yeah.
I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, that's one thing about this movie that they actually came through with.
Yeah, because he's along for the whole ride.
Yep. As soon as she said that, like, Rey, I'm just Rey, I kind of had my suspicion that she would just name herself Skywalker at the very end of the movie.
Well, who else could do it?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I asked you to marry me. Can't imagine why you said no.
Yo, snatch and grab.
Oh, gotta look out for those snatchers.
That's right.
Oh, Pisana. There you go.
There you go.
See, I don't know why they can't just like give us a caption though to tell us, like, please, like, give us context to what's happening. Like, you've already given us no context to the story.
They got there real fast.
They got there so quickly, man. There's like,
yeah.
By the way, I love the character that what's his face plays. The older guy, the first order general or whatever.
He plays what Hux was supposed to be in the first movie.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I wish there was Thrawn in this movie. Though. I mean, I don't know much about him. But...
Yeah. Well, a lot of people actually, when they casted him, a lot of people thought he was going to be playing Thrawn.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of rumors online. People were speculating, and I remember people thinking that.
I remember hearing that too. Yeah, people did a bunch of paint overs on his face. He was all blue, and he looked actually quite a lot like
yeah,
Thrawn.
He looked like an aged Thrawn or whatever.
Yeah, I would have bought that. That'd been cool too if they would have done something like that.
Would have been pretty cool, yeah.
Because I don't think they've established how quickly Chiss age.
Yeah, exactly.
See, this is what's so stupid. Like, what
You know
the
what
heck? Like, there's no way. Are there not like Jawas like anywhere to freaking tear the ship apart? Like, what the heck, guys?
You know
It's
what I
also
don't like
weird
about-
that it's unlocked and it hasn't been scavenged.
That's what I'm saying. It's just been
Yeah.
chilling there untouched for like forever. Just oh yeah, there's just this ship that's like huge and easy to find in the middle of some
Yeah, I was gonna
desert.
say
Like
if it was hidden, I could buy it a little more, but it's like on top of a hill in a desert.
exactly, it's just sitting there. It's like it's like yeah, no one wants those parts. Don't worry about it.
Well, the
I'd love
locals,
to-
they're good people. They don't scavenge.
Did Lando share anything as to why he was still on Pisana after all these years?
Not really. We had about the same amount of reason that we have for that ship still being there.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering because like he's just there chilling all by himself. You
How
think
long
he'd
has he
have better
been there?
things to do? I don't know, but he said like the last time, I think he said that him and Luke were like chasing that Ochi assassin
Yeah.
guy or whatever.
Right.
So that was obviously a while
I mean,
back.
he could have left and came back if Leia sent him there or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know why anyone would want to chill there though. Like it's
No, yeah. And he hasn't bothered to go check the ship out or whatever. Like, yeah, that aside, though, I like this part. This is really cool.
Yeah. Those bikes are cool. The treads is a cool
yeah,
design.
it's super cool, yeah.
almost sounded like an Ewok there.
That's awesome. You know what I think would be cool for Rey? Instead of having that kind of weird, tiny, little dorky silver blaster, she should have like Han Solo's DL-44 or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cause that would kind of hold back to like when Luke was learning under Yoda too, because you know he was still walking around Dagobah with the blaster or whatever.
Did I forget? Did Rey carry her blaster in the second movie?
Yes.
I don't think we
know.
ever saw her use it. If
Yeah,
she did.
probably not.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think if she did or not.
I think she tried to use it in the throne room sequence, maybe. I know she tried to shoot someone with it at some point. I mean, I could be wrong, but. Well, yeah, there it is. He walks out.
Yeah, there it is.
That's why he's able to fly around because it's just an Ewok strapped to the back.
Maybe it's Warwick.
Pretty funny.
That's his cameo in this movie.
Somebody toss him a stick. That's a snake.
Yeah.
Ray, I never told you.
Oh, that's right. This entire movie, Finn's role is basically just like trying to tell Rey something, and then they just never get around to it.
Yeah, it never says anything.
Doesn't he scream Ray like 7 times?
Yeah, it's something crazy. Like
I spends the last 2 movies trying to like find her and rescue her because he likes her, and then this whole movie, like now that he's with her, he just spends the whole time crying out her name, but nothing amounts to it at all.
Yeah.
That was Snap Wexley, by the way, JJ's best friend.
Yeah. So if you read the Aftermath trilogy of books, he's the character, the boy Temmin Wexley. The creator of Mr. Bones.
That's right. Forgot about Mr. Bones.
Yep. Yeah.
I kind of wish Mr. Bones had a cameo in this. Did he come back?
Oh man,
I thought
No,
actually,
Mr. Bone.
he got blown up, didn't he?
I think Mr. Bones died. Yeah.
I think at the end of the last book. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's great. Yeah.
Finn is a lot better in this movie.
Yeah, that's what's so sad though, is that like they sort of built up their characters in Force Awakens, and then we got nothing in the second movie, and now they're trying to just like salvage
Yeah, it's true.
everyone pretty much. Like the only character they've
main
really done
cast.
justice is Ben, and then like kind of Rey. I don't know. They could have done a lot of things better with Rey, but
Yeah, I agree.
like Poe, poor Poe and Finn have just been like crapped on this whole franchise.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Poe's backstory was also changed in this film.
Oh,
So yeah, so like Poe's parents were working for the rebellion, right?
yeah.
But like when he grows up, there was I think he was part of the New Republic like Navy or whatever.
Okay.
And he basically went from that to being part of the Resistance with Leia, right? But somehow they managed to squeeze in this entire plot where he was running with smugglers, and like that
What?
comes later on in the film when they speak to that chick in the purple suit.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 'cause I thought he was always like just a pilot for like the Republic and then the Resistance.
he was, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then JJ happened.
Which ironically wrote the original backstory.
He didn't write one. That's the problem.
Oh.
So they filled it in, and then
he changed it. JJ. I don't know if I buy this part. Just saying.
I didn't like it either.
Snakes aren't that friendly.
No, they're not. Is this one of those sand crates or whatever? What's this thing again?
It's a basilisk.
A basilisk. Okay.
Harry Potter kills one.
Yeah. Dude, see, this is like I don't mind Rey's character, but I didn't like how they just kind of randomly like make her good at like stuff like all the time.
I know, it's really
Like,
annoying.
it's so annoying. Like we only just now are starting to finally see her like, oh yeah, great. Like, you know, she's training, learning how to do stuff. But I mean, right from the beginning, they're like, oh yeah, so she knows how to Jedi mind trick, even though she knows nothing about the Force. Now she can spontaneously like heal things whenever she feels like it too.
I know,
Like,
right?
I think
It's just,
the only thing that I can accept about this is the fact that she's been studying from those like ancient Jedi texts.
Yeah.
So like I can buy it with that in mind. And
See,
I'm not
like if
like
they had
against the ability either.
no, like I'd be okay with this if they gave me like a reason to understand what's happening, but they don't. Like if they at least like showed her like reading those books or like talking about this kind of thing, or maybe at some point in the previous movie if she had a chance to discuss it with Luke, if they had the like training
Just
relationship
a bit of
that they should
foreshadowing,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, just like something, so I could be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like I understand what this is, instead of it just like randomly
It's just
showing
my
up.
assumption.
It's funny,
that
you're
she's-
going that
yeah.
way. My issue is if you've ever seen an animal with an injury, if you touch that injury, they attack you very quickly.
Look at this. All
that's
these
true,
shots are
yeah.
just to look awesome. Like
I know, right?
it's like they're like 3 shots of like dun, 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 dun.
just looking badass on the mountain.
Yeah.
They're like,
Just looking
yes,
badass on the
we
rock.
have
Yeah.
like optical devices on the ship that we can just sit inside the ship and like look at stuff. We need to
Yeah.
stand and use our own eyes to do it.
Yeah.
Kyle got me this cool drone for Christmas. You guys want to take some action shots?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh my gosh. She still has that stupid
If,
stick. Oh my gosh.
if what's his face, Taika Waititi, if he were to like explain that sequence of 3 shots, so like for the Knights of Ren, he'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, they cast me as an extra, and they just said, you know what? Let's go up on the rocks, take some badass looking shots. That's about it."
That's a terrible New Zealand accent.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh my god.
It's very Irish.
I was like, Taika Waititi's Irish now? Okay. Chewie kind of gets thrown under the bus in Last Jedi in this movie too. I don't know. See, like, they could have had a really cool fight sequence with the Knights of Ren, but no, that we just get a cool like scenic shot with them. They sneakily take Chewie. That's it.
True.
I'm like, really? Like they're not gonna, be angry and like attack anyone at all?
It'd be really funny if they trapped him by like putting like a bunch of like meat every like 6 feet. So should we just like eats one, like says forward, like eats the next one, and just like walks into a trap.
Yeah, that'd be pretty hilarious.
Did you guys like this this like chicken game that they're playing out here?
I mean, it looks cool. I don't know.
Her standing there and he's coming to crash into her kind of thing.
Oh. Yeah, it's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool in a trailer.
It looked pretty cool in the trailer. Yeah, I
thought
I don't
it was
get it.
fine.
Why didn't he just? Sorry. Why didn't he just open fire?
Well, that's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, the relevance of why they did this doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't think a lot of the things Kylo Ren does make sense, to be honest. It kind of fits with the character. He's not always the most like rational and well thought out person.
He just likes to look cool, like the Knights of Ren. So we see it all fits together.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's all to look cool. Yeah.
I like his kind of upgraded TIE interceptor, though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
It's the same one from the last movie, isn't it?
He had a different ship. Like his was like more narrow or whatever previously.
I think it was a little longer and a little more narrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's different. I think it was called the TIE Silencer.
Oh my goodness, the G-forces would be insane.
Dude, yeah, he would have passed out so fast.
Vince is always screaming.
Always, man. Always.
I just don't get to, like, they land a bunch of these big, bulky, noisy landing craft near them, too, and just no one notices. And there's a bunch of stormtroopers there, too. Like, they're not going to try to, like, move around and like go check out the one derelict ship up on top of a rock in the middle of the desert.
True.
Like, I just didn't get it. I was like, okay, one guy captive and not bother trying to find any of the other people we're looking after.
Why doesn't he just attack her instead?
Because he's
I think he wants to prove he's stronger than her in the Force.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I think so. Oh, yeah, because they did this with the lightsaber.
With the lightsaber, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he obsessed about this like the end of the first movie, I should say, and this was kind of his like home mantra.
What do you guys think about that?
See, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was kind of cool.
I was like, man, like we never even saw Anakin do that in his darkest moment, and she just kind of like boop, there it goes.
See, like that's what I mean though. I thought they were gonna give like a really interesting like story like to her heritage and stuff like that. Yeah. Like
also Sith lightning is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it took Dooku. He was a Jedi Master, and it took him a long time to figure it out.
Well, even Kylo Ren
Direct
still
training.
hasn't. Even as dark as Ben is gone, like he's still never done it.
That's
No.
true.
Like it's
Yeah.
still, it's not a easy thing to achieve, and like. I
Well,
know
like-
it's all because she's just related to Palpatine, but like still, it's like, you know, that shouldn't
Yeah.
mean anything. at all.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't have a hard time believing it because, like, early on in this movie, we kind of see her, like, be, like, really angry and stuff like that and trash a bunch of stuff. Like, I think they could have done more to make it, like, more believable that she would kind of just have this, like, frustration and rage and anger and stuff like that. And I mean, eventually, I guess we find out, oh, hey, by the way, like, you're related to the Palps. And so
Yeah.
that kind of explains it away a little bit, like just brushes it under the carpet a
Yeah,
little more.
I think that's what they were going for, is when you find that out, like, oh, it makes sense. But simultaneously, I don't think that's a bloodline trait you pass down to your children.
No, it's
No.
not. Definitely not. It shouldn't be. No. Also, I'd like to mention Chewie dying, quote unquote, or whatever. I wasn't far enough. I should have been like less naive when I walked into this movie, because I was like, I actually believed it. I was like, I was like, holy crap, they just killed off Chewbacca, right? Like,
The thing is, I think people were so willing to accept it because they'd already done it so much in the other two movies.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is like, this movie not only pulls a few of those cards out of the hat, it pulls like a whole deck of characters that they're like, guess what, they're dead, and then boom, they're back. And it's like the entire, not to mention the whole movie, the whole like villain of the film takes place around that center point of bringing a person that's dead and bringing them back alive again.
It's starting to sound like a Marvel movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's worse than Marvel. Like Marvel, they did that with Chewbacca. They did it with Palpatine. They did it with the chick in the purple jumpsuit from that planet that Poe is supposed to have a fling with or whatever. They did it with Ben Solo at the very end of the movie when he falls down a hole, and they did it with somebody else. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Ray.
Again. Was it Ray? Yes. Yeah, it was Ray. Yeah, when they did the whole resurrection thing. It was when Ben Solo comes back because he's actually not dead, and then he does the force stealing on. Yeah, exactly. And then and now she's back, and then they killed Ben again, and it's like, dude, like,
Yeah, that was
It's true.
The only person that died and didn't come back was Leia.
Yeah.
And she still comes back. She still comes back in the Force.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I'm like, ugh.
Dude, I hated this thing with C-3PO. I was like, okay, really? Like, the dude is like, just like, oh yeah, I'm just not gonna tell you guys, I can't do it. I'm programmed weird, and so we gotta go to this whole different planet to like do all this stuff. I don't know. It kind of annoyed me.
Yeah. By the way, I think it's JJ that does the voice for Dio here, right?
Oh really?
Oh, that's news to me.
Yeah.
I didn't like Dio at all. I thought it was like not necessary at all. I was like, why did they bother adding another droid? We've already got like 3.
Well, he's just a random side character. Doesn't really do anything.
No, yeah, except that's what I mean though. I was like, what's the point of adding him if he does nothing?
I don't know. I don't mind it. He looks like a Star Wars droid, right? He's really junky. It didn't bother me.
This planet's really cool though.
Yeah. This is very, very World War II.
Yeah.
Hello? Do you have the juice?
Open up!
We're here for the juice. Like, it even looks like something from like old Germany or Russia. Saw the stonework.
When you get that German accent, it makes me think of the 3 little pigs from Shrek.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, Lord Farquaad.
By the way, I mean, man, that is so Nazi. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Well, see, like this is the first time though we really even see the First Order like doing anything like bad to other people. Like the other
It's
movies,
true.
it's just kind of like, they're evil. They got this big empire, and blah blah blah.
There's this chick. This is where his mysterious unknown past that doesn't exist comes back to haunt him.
that's right. Yeah.
They kind of make him even more Han Solo with that history.
Yeah,
because
they do.
Han Solo ran spice.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
I
what
know.
I didn't get though. Like they already in the first movie were like, yeah, Rey's kind of gonna like learn more from Han Solo, and then like at the opening of this movie, he's the one flying the Millennium Falcon around, like doing all this stuff. Like I was like, all right, whatever.
With Chewie as his co-pilot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like okay.
Yeah, I agree. I do like the original story better, just because you're right. Now he is just like this carbon copy Han Solo.
Yeah. They were like, well, we trashed the crap out of him in the last movie, so what are we actually going to do with his character, like his history and story and stuff? Well, we'll just kind of make him Solo 2.0.
More badass shots right here.
Yeah.
We were hiding there the whole time.
It's like,
Not
this
a
time I get to
huge
show off my
army to-
glowing club.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to see some scenes of them like talking to Kylo. He like gives them their mission, and they have to like actually
That
say
would be
something.
cool. That would
Or
be
just
cool.
see them do something more than walk around.
Oh, that's John
and look
Williams.
Cool.
That's John Williams.
Oh, that's
there.
cool. That's awesome.
That's his first cameo in Star Wars is John Williams.
That's awesome. Actually, I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, sorry, I had to interject with that just because it's really
Nice.
quick. But
Yeah.
anyway, what were you saying, Breed?
Oh, I was just saying, like, if the Knights of Red did anything other than walk around and look really cool, like, we haven't seen them do anything at all except sort of capture Chewie so far.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this?
They turned Sith into a language, like that you're talking about.
That 3PO is able to translate it, but it's like hidden and locked in his banks.
That's what I was saying earlier. I wasn't like a
I think
huge
it's
fan of it.
kind of stupid that he's able to read it because
Well, it reminds me of HK-47 from KOTOR.
I think like because Anakin built 3PO, right? So like he would
Yeah, but he made him out of parts.
He made a that's true. He made him out of parts, so it's possible, I guess, that he had like a really old part that may have been like a Sith like era level of like that's like a processing chip that's like over 1,000 years old.
Well, I'm wondering if they all droids have it in there, but the language has been outlawed by the Republic, or something like that.
I don't
Maybe,
know.
but then
it
I
just
don't know why the
reminded me of
code
like
would
the
keep
Lord of the
going.
Rings, where they're like the sequences when they talk about like the Mordor language, like the the old ancient
Yeah.
language. It's like I was just kind of
black
like
speech.
whatever they call it. I'm kind of like, okay, I ripped that one out of their playbook. Like they're turning this movie into Lord of the Rings right now. Like
I mean, they got a Hobbit, so may as well.
ready, so they're just going the rest of the way.
General Pride.
They
That's the
oh,
name
you know
of
what?
that.
Yeah, they got a Hobbit. They basically have the Nazguls or whatever, like the 9 riders, the Knights of Ren are basically
they do.
the Black Riders from.
Yeah, they don't talk either. So yeah,
They don't talk. You just see them ride around and do cool stuff. Like
I thought it was cool how they did this with 3PO though, when like his eyes come back and they're all like bloodshot.
that was kind of cool.
That was pretty cool. I liked that. I don't know.
I just
It's
thought it
kinda
was
weird
kind of
he's
lame
got
that they
the-
were just like, oh yeah, he can't do this ancient language that no one's ever talked about before.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I felt pretty weird about that too.
Does that mean they're going to canonize Sith as a race as well?
If they don't, it would be even more strange, because that just means that this offshoot of the Jedi decided to come up with their own
language. Yeah, you're right.
Just for the sake of
silly.
having their own language. It's like why?
I didn't mind the original story of there being a Sith race that then these Dark Jedi found and like learned from them.
I like that. Yeah, I like that's where they get their name from, because it, I don't know, it just added some like naturalistic history to it.
Yeah,
do they have the Sith as like a race in the Old Republic game?
Yeah.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but that's not canon.
But
really, that whole game isn't canon.
No, it's not, because it came out before they started to reboot the canon.
Yeah.
So that is the last and only still running game that is not canon.
Wow.
Kerry Russell's actually like a pretty awesome actress, and I like her character.
Yeah.
I just wish that it was under different contexts.
Yeah. Right, just like thrown in out of nowhere. Like it's hard to like the like the Band-Aid that they slap on.
Squeak.
Yeah, I do like the character too. It'd be cool if she was a spice runner and he was a pilot, and then they had like this romance, like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, exactly. Like he worked for the New Republic, and like he let her get away with some crime previously or something like that. Like, yeah, exactly. That would have been interesting. Yeah, that's a good suggestion that you made, because like she would have been like breaking New Republic laws that he was like willing to let her get away with, but now that none of that matters anymore, because New Republic's gone, and everyone needs a friend to help fight the First Order, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Scumbags and rebels alike, kind of thing. So yeah, I like that.
So the rebels all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, because the rebels like did a lot of business with pirates and
with smugglers,
smugglers and stuff. Yeah.
Ray,
you almost yelled. Watch it, Finn. Your decibel count's getting too high.
I actually did like the storyline with 3PO, where he nobly chose to give up his memories to help his friends.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually like kind of heartwarming.
Yeah, I think it added something interesting for his character.
Because like usually he's just kind of like this bumbling idiot that follows along, right? But and obviously he's a very self-preservating character. He's always concerned that he's going to get blown up. So the fact that he was willing to sacrifice himself is actually a really big step for him.
And at the very end of the movie, he gets his memories back anyway, because R2 carries like a backup or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
R2's just a trash.
If he didn't get that backup, though, I would have been like,
it's just gone. Oh, hey, look, we can dig this out of there. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
There's maps and memory banks.
Yeah.
No,
don't delete his memory. We'll delete 3PO's though, because we might need R2 to, like figure out things for us later.
Oh, yeah, we need to fix the plot holes later.
Yeah.
Oh, that fantastic Hux moment's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything. I just want to screw over Ben Solo.
Spoilers, man. You run so goofy there.
Poe is the one guy holding that blaster properly. Just throwing that one out there.
Yeah.
It's because he worked for the New Republic and he wasn't the spice runner. He's had training.
Yeah, that's so great. That's such a great moment. It's like, wait, did she ever try that on us?
Oh man, thank goodness you're here.
Like, are we really your friends?
Actually, did appreciate that. That was kind of fun.
That was great.
How do you guys feel about the whole J.J. Abrams always a treasure hunt kind of plot line?
I thought it was so dumb. Like in this movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, we got to get this dagger that's gonna that's sort of a map to where we need to go." I was like,
plot
really?
always has to hinge it's like you can't write a movie unless the whole plot hinges around a specific object. Like the map to Skywalker, or the dagger that would be the map to the Death Star.
It is very Goonies-esque. I'm wondering, what about Star Trek? His Star Trek movies, were they around an object?
No,
I can't remember.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, they kind of centered around a lot of social political matters that were, converted into kind of a science fiction plot line, right? But
no, I think the first one was about an object, wasn't it? Because I remember they had to find old Spock, and old Spock had that box, that magic-y box.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was like a tesseract kind of thing.
Oh yeah, the dark matter or whatever.
Yeah, and then they had to use that to bring back the planets. Something
there
like
it is
that.
Again. Yeah.
What can we say? Finn's a screamer.
Oh, he is. Okay, this is where Phasma comes out for a third time.
Oh my god!
She just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm kidding.
But you had me there. I would have believed it.
dude, I wish I was waiting for Phasma to show up again in this movie.
It's been a while since you've seen this, eh?
Yeah, I was just waiting for her voice to show up because I think it's I wouldn't have been surprised if she was, because death doesn't matter in these movies.
No,
it really doesn't.
She falls down a furnace and then explodes and then shows up in the next movie.
Yeah, the excuse will be her insane armor again.
Oh my gosh.
She just had one scorch mark right where I was because it broke.
That's quite a thick dagger. There's no edge to that at all.
Well,
no, it's decorative.
Yeah,
it's ornamental. I didn't mind them trying to find stuff on the Death Star. I thought the dagger was kind of silly.
Yeah.
I thought that was really dumb. Yeah. The Death Star part was cool, and I like that because it was something that would have been in the original George Episode 7 outline.
Yeah, that's right. But it was underwater, I think, in that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the whole dagger thing, the whole Wayfinder thing, I thought it was so stupid. You know what? Okay, first of all, if you want to use a Wayfinder device, just call it a holocron. And then secondly,
that's what it should have been.
Secondly, the dagger map thing, so dumb.
Well, the problem is, I don't mind the idea that she finds something that helps her to find something is hidden and it's on the Death Star. Because I could see Palpatine having some track over something that he had, right?
The thing is, that dagger lines up perfectly with the ruins of the Death Star, which meant that the dagger was made after the Death Star went down, right? But that's what I have a huge problem with.
I don't even have a problem with that. My problem is if she's standing 200 feet to the left, it doesn't work.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that too.
Exactly. That's what's like. They could have just like found a thing that was like, oh yeah, it was on the Death Star 2, and be like, oh hey, we gotta go figure out where the Death Star 2 is. Oh, it's over here. Oh, okay, let's check it out.
Yeah, like, honestly, it should have been some sort of like tracker beacon thing.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of further improved the whole Last Jedi kind of concept that they had, which was like
With
this
the connection?
bond. Yeah, the connection that
Yeah.
Snoke admitted to binding their minds or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I thought it was super cool. Like this duel is awesome, especially because they don't really reveal it until the end of this duel. But the way it's edited, you see them in both locations at the same time, but they actually both don't see where the other one is.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's super cool. Then the instant moment of
See, the whole thing with like the last movie and him just like, I think I brought it up in the Last Jedi one as well, but you know, for anyone who skipped that commentary track, like I brought up the fact that Ben Solo like tells her your parents were filthy junk traders, and she believes it, and he's telling the truth. And it's plain and simple. Like that was the reality that was intended to be the continuity that would lead into the Duel of Fates movie.
JJ explained that. He said that that's legitimately what Kylo believed at the time that he said that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not exactly what was intended in the beginning, right? I think they would have written that scene a little differently, if that wasn't supposed to be like a genuine fact.
I thought it was pretty funny. I like the idea that 3PO would just make up his own language to confuse the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Knows a million languages and he makes one up.
Yeah.
I guess he's forgotten them all.
I would think it'd be in his basic programming.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
So stupid.
It affects the control of the company. I have the most shares if he loses. And I will be CEO.
The first order.
I think it'd be easier to put some poison in his drink and take over or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
They're all sitting at a table together.
Get some tainted blue milk.
Yeah, there we go.
But like Luke drank this stuff, it made him powerful.
You are a Palpatine.
She should have just screamed no like Luke did when Vader told him he was his father.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Does she even know who that is, though?
No.
Well, that's the thing. In the beginning of this movie, there's no context at all. And Poe just like he's like, guess what? The Emperor's back, and everyone's like, oh shoot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh dang! Didn't see that coming.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Yep.
Like none of them should know who the Emperor like really is.
Not by name.
No, yeah.
You're a Sheev.
Yeah. like you like that video like with Hagrid, you're a wizard, Harry. It's like, like you're a Sheev, Ray.
You're a Sheev, Ray.
You're a Sheev, Ray. It doesn't have the same ring to it at all.
No, it doesn't. I thought that was cool though. He uses the Force to like stabilize himself.
Yeah, I like that.
Everyone else gets blown away.
In the trailer, it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, I
Why
think
is
it's
that?
pretty cool.
Oh, it made me curious. I was like, oh, what's he doing? That everyone gets blown back, but like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, is there some sort of massive power source that someone's like using the Force against him or whatever? But
Yeah.
I don't know. And there he
Would
goes.
you guys? I was surprised that they figured it out so quickly. I didn't expect. I thought it was gonna be a running thing for more of the movie.
Well, it was basically like J.J. Abrams, his relationship with the rest of the franchise or the trilogy at this point. He was just like, "Give me that blaster, bang! It never happened."
Yeah.
I also like to think of it as like he made this cool toy and Ryan Johnson played with it and now he doesn't want it anymore.
It's used.
He's like, "Kill it."
He replaced it with Pride because that's what Hux was supposed to be. They got a new one.
Yeah, a new. He replaced his used toy with Pride because of Pride. Oh my goodness, that's so good.
You're right. That's very like fitting that he actually
It's like
named it
so
that.
fitting. Oh my goodness. What? Why did Hux die? Oh, because of JJ's pride.
Yeah. Honestly, that's got to be it. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
It's too good. Oh my goodness, I'm dying over here.
You're gonna have to put that out in a tweet later.
Oh man. So it's worth noting that this character right here, even though in the movie it was hinted that she's supposed to be Lando's daughter, in the resource book for the film, like the visual dictionary, they actually confirmed that she is his daughter, and it was something that they almost put in the film up until the point where they decided to cut that too.
Well,
Why? Especially if they canonized it anyway.
I know. I have no idea why they didn't do it. I think it was something to do with like they wanted to take the focus off of that or whatever. I don't even know. Some sort of stupid reason.
too many stupid things going on.
Honestly, I think it was probably their hesitation to do it because they were like, "Oh, this is just going to be known as the movie for like making everyone relevant, connected to somebody."
Right.
You know.
Or it's like there's now 3 black people in. This is now the 4th black person in Star Wars, and 2 of them are related.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I almost forgot about Sam Jackson. That was close.
Yeah. Like she's standing exactly where it is.
So
Like,
stupid.
I know, right? It's really silly.
I didn't really like any of these.
Horses?
Well, just like I don't know. I didn't understand like why they needed any of these people, and like the end sequence with them is kind of ridiculous. I mean, that's not. I think that's the main reason I didn't like them. Like I was fine with this.
I can see why you would dislike it, but fighting on top of a Star Destroyer as a battlefield is a cool idea.
That part was really cool. The part where they're riding horses on top of the Star Destroyer was really stupid.
Dude, that happens in every Star Wars movie. It always comes down to the like savage people, quotations, using like simple tactics, and they have like nature, and they're fighting like the evil empire with technology.
They're like, yeah, it works. Like spears and bows and arrows from Ewoks works against.
Yeah,
bows.
exactly. It all started with Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then the Gungans.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, they're like, see, guns aren't highly effective and like designed to kill people.
Have, the Gungans at least have like some sort of relevant technology. Like
the shields.
Sort of,
they had plasma, which was. But the excuse for that was Naboo has plasma, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've got all these plasma weapons, which is super cool. What a small world. Me too. Which village you from? Me too.
Whoa!
Hashtag me too.
Yeah.
All the stormtroopers coming out.
Oh man. By the way, how useless are those goggles she's got? Like you can't even see through them.
No.
It was like a blast shield, I guess.
She's like, oh, dude, it's her sleep
With
mask.
the goggles down, how am I supposed to fight?
It's a really sleep mask.
Your eyes deceive you. Oh man. What was that, Reed?
Oh, I was saying it's her high-tech sleep mask.
Oh, high-tech sleep mask? Yeah.
She's just like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed now.
It's like Star Wars version of VR.
Yeah. And they got nothing else to do on that barren rock.
Yeah. I like how his binoculars or whatever has 4 or 3 extra lenses than the one that Luke and the Mandalorian have, and like
Yeah, I
throughout
was
the
thinking
entire
about
Star Wars
that.
saga, and the image is still just as crappy.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh, man.
I like this whole thing with like the water speeder or whatever.
Oh yeah, it was super
I
cool.
thought that was pretty cool.
It's a skiff, Josh.
Yeah, skiff. Yes, a skiff. Yeah.
I also find it funny. It's like, it's too dangerous. We'll go tomorrow. And the next scene, Ray just like steals their boat.
Yeah, exactly.
Has the Falcon crashed in every one of these in this trilogy?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, it has.
Every single movie. Thing is, I'm pretty sure at this point, man, it's not even Falcon anymore. Like, they've had to replace every single part on the whole
That's
ship.
true.
Like,
And it was funny is that in Solo it crashed as well. So it's like every new movie they put out, the Falcon has been crashed and destroyed.
And they kill Han Solo.
yeah.
You think Disney doesn't like Solo very much?
Yeah, apparently not.
Actually, I forget if it crashes in Last Jedi. I don't know if it. Oh no!
Yeah,
you know what? It
Does
no,
it
I don't
not?
think
That's
it
the
does.
one I couldn't think if it crashed or not.
No, I don't think
Last
it does in that
Jedi?
one. That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Well, nothing happened in that movie anyway, so whatever.
They escape in it, but yeah.
Okay, look at this TIE fighter. Look how beat down this TIE fighter is.
No, it doesn't.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, but somehow
There's that shuttle
Ben
up here
Solo
too.
manages to find, like in this entire piece of wreckage here, Ben Solo manages to find a perfectly working TIE fighter.
A prototype. The
That
only of
happens-
its kind.
That happens to be, I guess, a prototype, the only of its kind that has a hyperdrive.
I do want to say that I think it was really cool that they actually gave purpose in this movie to
To
her
raise scavenger.
her scavenger skills.
Her
Yeah.
parkour, her parkour
I thought that
skills.
was a nice callback. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I like
Is-
that too. That was cool.
They totally just ignored it for the last movie. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
they like made it relevant.
I
And it
guess.
makes
Yeah,
sense
that's
for this.
true.
If she's scaling that little Death Star, like
Yeah.
honestly, she has the perfect skill set for it.
It's
Yeah.
something that made her character really unique, that she was like a scavenger, right? Because even
Yeah.
though Anakin was like quite the handyman with building things, he wasn't like a diver dumpster or whatever. He was a dumpster diver. Sorry, I totally botched that.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
By the way, the music is great. Straight
Yeah,
out of
it is.
Return of
I
the
love
Jedi
this whole
right here.
sequence. How they found the Death Star is stupid, but I love this sequence.
Well,
This-
once they get
this-
onto it, everything is super awesome. I
Yeah,
agree.
this
It's
is
probably
really
the best
great.
part of the whole movie.
This
yeah,
is
yeah, absolutely. I wonder what happened here.
Whoever did the set design for this, like, they knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah,
It
they
looked
killed it,
amazing.
man.
great job. Yeah.
And it's like everyone else did a great job, but the freaking like the writers and directors just like
Yeah.
just sucked hardcore.
I also like the fact that they extended Palpatine's throne room here and added in this whole kind of like weird, creepy meditation chamber.
Yeah, with all of his like
Yes.
knickknacks and his collections. Sith
Yeah,
artifacts.
I thought that was pretty appropriate, seeing as he's got a throne room. Like, you might as well have other stuff on there as well.
Makes sense he'd have his own personal space near there, yeah.
How many times have you seen this movie, Josh?
Twice, I think, or 3 times, maybe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's probably about the same as me, yeah. I think it's my 3rd time.
I think this is my 3rd time too.
As I thought, I saw it twice in the theater.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, same.
And then I think I may have seen it once after I bought the Blu-ray.
The Nutcracker!
Possibly.
What Ray should have been.
Actually, this might be the 3rd time I'm seeing it.
The lightsaber she should have had this whole time.
I know, right?
In Duel of Fates, the Colin Trevorrow episode 9, she did have a double-bladed lightsaber, and I believe it was made out of her staff or whatever.
That'd be cool if she like put together Anakin's lightsaber and her staff and like mashed them together.
That would have been pretty sick, dude. Or like use the crystal from it to do it. Yeah.
In that storyline, did she still go to the Death Star?
In Colin Trevorrow's episode 9?
Yeah.
No, that was out of George's episode 7.
Version. Yeah.
Episode 7, yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that this is your favorite part of episode 9, because if they just stuck with George's outline, this would have been one of the first things you've seen in the sequels. If they just
it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I remember reading bits and pieces of that back before these movies came out.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
No.
So awkward looking.
A little hop.
A little hop, and then whoop. Playing a game.
Fool of a took.
Yeah. What would have been even more comical is if he hopped down there just as she swung and then swung at nothing. See, like Maz, I'm assuming lost her workers' dispute at work. The union fought her.
Dispute. Yeah, that's right.
The union dispute. They won.
That's right. Yeah.
And they say
they're still going to pay her union dues.
Yeah, exactly. I guess this trilogy does have a little bit of politics, thanks to Ryan Johnston.
Oh my gosh.
Some union politics.
Unions.
Just get the shut up, Finn.
Talk about like, the ultimate rejection. Just like throws the dude away.
Oh yeah.
Like if he doesn't get the message now, like oh my gosh.
That's the exact same thing that Anakin says about Padme in Attack of the Clones. It's like, Padme! It's like,
yeah, it is.
I can't leave her. Anakin, what would she do if you were in your position or whatever?
She would do her duty.
She would do her duty. Is like,
This is such a cool fight scene.
I like the visual aesthetic of this whole sequence because it's very cool and it plays a lot of homage to Anakin and Obi-Wan's duel on Mustafar with all the lava.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think that was somewhat intentional.
Oh,
probably.
He's going Starkiller fighter style.
Man, they must have been soaking wet filming this.
Yeah, it must have been very cold.
Yeah.
I wonder where they filmed this part of the movie.
It was a set, I believe.
Yeah, my guess would be a set in England.
Yeah.
But,
It was an outdoor set. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw some pictures.
It's super
online.
wet, so it's either Canada or the United Kingdom. One of the two.
all the set work was in the UK.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they have their own private set there now.
I like how they finally proved that he's the better fighter.
And then she beats him with a cheap shot.
Yeah, I didn't like that. No.
She's like clearly having a moment, and then she's just like, at last.
Yeah, she's a Palpatine, dude.
That's true.
Like the same way Palpatine killed Mace Windu.
Right?
Yeah.
Except he had lightning, I guess, but still. Not remotely upset. She just stabs him in the chest. She's upset that Leia dies on the other side of the galaxy. And like, oh wait, I just killed off her whole bloodline. There's her son right there.
It's true.
This is the part of the movie where they ran out of footage to use for Leia.
Honestly, yeah.
I'd still rather have been Force Luke. Just saying.
Ugh. He's like, you just stabbed me in the chest. Like, what's going on right now?
And with this last act, I give you the knowledge to do this as well.
I can't really tell if she's supposed to be crying or if she's just soaking wet right now.
Is she using a metachlorine to save one from death?
I don't really know what's involved in the process. I don't think that is necessarily it, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn on the whole ability. Like, I think it's kind of cool, but it also kind of breaks a lot of previous stuff.
Well,
like, why didn't
I know
Anakin just
it's
throw
been in
his
the
hand
games
back?
forever, like self-healing.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if there's limitations to it. Like, why didn't Anakin just grow his hand back or whatever? Like,
just sprouts a new hand.
yeah.
Could you imagine if he screwed up though? Like, oh no, dang it! No, I got like 6 fingers and
man.
pointed backwards.
This one's a claw.
Vader, if you strike me down, I'll grow my torso back in a week.
He's like a Hydra.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Obi-Wan and Kenobi.
I mean, in theory, then, like, yeah, even Anakin could have been completely healed of his burns and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And Palpatine, the guy who knows, like, pretty much everything. Like, why
Maybe
didn't he
only
just
Jedi
do
can
that?
use it.
Maybe, I don't know.
I would be surprised. It doesn't seem like something the dark side would be able to channel.
It seems like it's something that, don't forget, that the child can also do, right? And even though the child might be very, like, powerful, it's not a Jedi yet,
Right.
and hasn't learned from any Jedi. So it's kind of a mysterious, like, thing. So I go
Right.
back and forth between, like, liking it and not liking it, but
Well, then why couldn't Qui-Gon have been saved?
exactly, like, Qui-Gon could have been saved because the exact same thing happened to him.
Also, I do find it kind of funny, even within just the Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon gets stabbed and is killed, and Darth Maul is cut in half and he lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he was cut from, like, the junk down kind of thing.
I guess.
Less of the waist. But
Yeah, less like organs.
yeah, more like just the legs.
You know, I just found it so interesting how in all of these movies we see Harrison Ford probably more than like any of the other original cast, and he's the one that wanted to be part of it this the least. Like,
yeah, exactly.
it's just such a slap in the face.
He's
Like,
such a slap in the
dude,
face to Mark
the
Hamill.
dude doesn't even want to be here, and like Luke, like I think Luke and like Leia, between the two of them, they probably want to be part of this the most, but just like nope.
Yep.
Like, oh my
I
gosh.
do have her like this moment because it does pay some sort of tribute to that moment in episode 7
Yeah.
where it's like almost the
I thought
it's
so
like
too. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, it's
through
great.
his memory of his parents, he gets a second chance and he takes it, and instead of activating the lightsaber, like he just throws it away instead, right? Like
I thought they did a good job by using Harrison to do this and not make him a Force ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have
Because-
broken the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So many people thought while watching this Harrison was a Force ghost, right?
Really? Oh.
Well,
That's
how else
interesting.
would he be there? And then they do this thing, right? And then he turns back. And then it makes more sense that he's not, and he was like a memory.
Yeah, because they started with that. Like, you're just a memory kind of thing.
Yeah.
I definitely could have seen that being Hux in the original draft.
Yeah. I hate this so much. This is so stupid.
The guns?
We've talked about this before, or I think Josh and I have talked about this before, where like it's just like we go from the Death Stars to what are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna make a bigger planet-killing weapon, Star Killer Base, and now it's like now we're just gonna give all of our ships planet-killing weapons. Like they just could not come up with
They did another
anything
idea.
more
But
original.
They took that
This looks so
miniaturized-
cool, by the way.
It looks super
does,
cool,
yeah.
but I'm so tired of planet-killing weapons. I'm like, do something else, dang it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what they tried to step it up with the last one. The planet killing, the planet that was the planet killer could kill multiple planets at once. Because how else do you and it destroys suns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the rule of Star Wars is you have to just keep going bigger.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this.
What do you do when you
destroys
run out of
suns and
stuff?
planets.
Yeah.
It's like we destroy
More stuff,
suns
bigger
to
stuff.
destroy planets. It's like they took that miniaturized Death Star tech from the end of The Last Jedi, the ones that blows open the doors to the hangar. They took that to like the next level and put them on like every single Star Destroyer, and it's like, are you kidding me? And now they blow up planets, not just blast.
Well,
them.
here's one thing that you're kind of skipping over. The ships that they use, if you see them, they're the old Star Destroyers, not the New Order ones. So that means that this was actually something that was created by Palpatine during the old Empire.
Yeah, which makes them even more unlikely, right? Because it means that the newer stuff that they've done is not as effective.
Yeah, that's true, but that means Palpatine didn't show them that information because I think what it was supposed to be is Palpatine was
my
creating
point,
it,
yeah.
and they weren't finished being made during Return of the Jedi. They're still under construction.
Yeah, exactly. But then this movie breaks all that because up until this movie, Palpatine was supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
So it's like now all of a sudden it's like, why didn't Palpatine just like it's his? Like it turns out the First Order is actually his. Like why didn't he just share the information?
I guess clones can't talk.
I
For, like,
guess
40
so. It's
years.
like, man, it was like this movie like leaves so many questions. Dio, JJ, it's like he's fated for a 2-letter name.
So wait a second. So this teeny little droid, this entire time that they've been doing all this stuff, has been able to take them where they needed to go?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Now she looks like Luke when he found out, or Anakin when Obi-Wan was holding him back.
Yeah. He's holding me back.
This is insulting.
I think this entire sequence here is the only solid continuation from The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pretends he never threw that away in the last movie.
Yeah.
I think it's
That's the irony
JJ
about it.
trying to make it what he did, like take back what Ryan Johnson did, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the very end of Last Jedi, like Luke becomes this person that we see right now, right? So that's why I say it's like the direct continuation of that redeeming moment that he uses that lightsaber in, like, you know, intentionally, like in that force projection mode that he had going on. Faces down the First Order and kind of gives up his life for that whole purpose, right?
Yeah, it does feel a lot more like a continuation from there.
Yeah. It's strange though that he looks even more shaggy. Like, you think that he would just look a little less in shambles?
It's the robe, man. It makes him look like he's wearing like a potato sack.
Yeah. Well, his hair is longer too. Like it's even longer than it was in The Last Jedi, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, it's not like the poor guy gets to shave in whatever ghost, like, force shadow realm that he's trapped in or whatever.
It's like Anakin, you know, Obi-Wan, Yoda, whatever. Their force immortality look is like the peak of their
The prime of their life, yeah.
and then Luke just gets screwed over. Oh, I love this whole sequence, by the way. Like Luke and Leia training together.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And they did a whole, like, that CG. Luke is amazing.
Luke does look really good.
Yeah.
So good. And then this is the Rogue One Leia asset, I guess, that they used over again.
Not quite as good, but it's still pretty decent.
Yeah, still okay.
The Luke
The Luke
looks
one
better,
is
though.
amazing.